Okay, so I'm super pumped and super excited today that you're here. Hey, you know what? This is day 3. So here's the deal. I'm excited that you're excited because this is all about you wanting more for yourself. It's wanting better health. It's wanting lower blood sugars. It's wanting to know not just what to do, because there's so much conflicting information out there, but it's also once you kind of know the what, it's then what? The big question is, so how do you do this? And how do you actually get it in your day and make it work for you? So the how is really the implementation training that is really world class, because that's going to give you your better blood sugars. So, and then these aren't just any self-care practices. These are especially cultivated and proven and tested and tried. So I am really jazzed for you. So with that said, I want to let you know that day 3 is all about medicine is movement, and it's all about how this influences and how this is able to help you lower your blood sugars. How does that happen? And when we talk about the root cause, which, is pretty hidden out there because so many medications mask that. In fact, we're going to have someone come on today who's a client of ours and who started right here in one of our original challenges, who came in for some of the same reasons that you're here. And that included avoiding medications and lowering current medications and avoiding add-on medications. So when it comes to being able to decrease your insulin resistance and increase your insulin efficiency, this is one of the big things that today has to offer. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that, but I want to recap the last couple of days. So to recap, day 2, we talked about strategic eating with your meals and how that can affect your blood sugars. So what we talked about was how you're able to kickstart creating lower blood sugars with the carbohydrate that actually so many people are so deficient in. Put here in the chat if you remember how many people are deficient in fiber. I want to know if you remember from yesterday. Either put how many are deficient or how many get enough. So you can put that in the chat. And where are you? Do you get enough or do you not get enough? Are you the top percentage that gets it or the general population that doesn't? So just let me know right here in the chat. So we talked about this ally to be your one of your best self-care practices. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you an example just today, and I can even show you on my monitor later. So what happened for me today is I found this one amazing syrup, and I actually ate French toast today with some fruit, and I had over 20, and that's quite a bit at once, but my body's used to it. 20 grams of fiber between the fruit and this special syrup that I used today. And I'll tell you, I was very concerned for a moment here because my blood sugars were dropping so quickly, and I can show you the double arrows. So I want to know, where are you with the fiber? And out of all the different ways we talked about incorporating it, what did you find that you did best or that you did the most? So I want to hear from you right here in the chat. How is it affecting your overall energy? Did you notice that it affected your overall energy? Did it even affect your sleep at night? And do you find that you have any, are you noticing any changes that you feel differently? And have you noticed anything in either your current or next blood sugar? And often at that 1.5 to 3 hour mark, right after that you're having that meal, you can notice that in your sugars if you're testing. So I want to hear, what did you notice? Did anyone experience any of these things that I'm asking right now? Just put it right there in the chat. And that'll be great. Kim, I noticed that you posted what you ate this morning with some fruit. So I would really love to hear what you experienced. Oh, good. Heck yes, heck yes. Good, good stuff. Good. You can hear all these things. Good. Okay. So let's just see here. I average 38 grams each day. Awesome, Kim. Kudos to you. I'm out 10. I don't get enough. I don't, but I made changes yesterday. Okay, Donna, we want to hear what some of those changes were. And so you notice lower sugars after eating higher fat? Absolutely, for sure. It's one of those things that shows up. And that's why we say, be careful to spread it throughout the day. That's one of the tips of taking it, because taking a lot at once can have the exact effect that it just had on me. And I'm aware of it because I experience that sometimes, but I actually get a good 35, 38 grams of fiber in my diet every day. So my body's acclimated to that. But when you're starting out, slowly in each of the meals. Okay, you didn't get enough fiber, Marg. Okay. 8 hours of sleep, that's beautiful. If you can get 8 hours of sleep, kudos to you. Beautiful. So thank you for showing for sharing. Added more fiber to meals. Beautiful, Ria. Okay, great. Glad to hear it. So day one, I want to recap our day one because it was all about mindset. And some of you were even talking about that in our Facebook group. So, thank you for playing all out. Like I said, I've been advocating this for over 30 years. And when I've done some work with the Deepak Chopras and the Joe Dispenzas, and I don't know if you ever follow, but a good person too. She's got a couple books out. Her name's Carol Dweck, Stanford University and researcher, all about how amazing this proven science-backed visualization best self-care practice really is. So I hope that that's able to empower you because it's a very important tool. It magnifies everything else that you do. So, and I recall our comments on day one. Do you recall what you put in the chat about how having diabetes made you feel? I remember every single one. So it's really about, rewiring and reprogramming, and creating those new neural pathways for us to up-level our success. It's what you believe. So I'm going to share a couple of really great things with you. Now, Melanie, and she may or may not be here today, I'm not sure. But Melanie was really someone who, again, post meals would have very high sugars for hours at a time. So depending on what she was eating at the time, those could stay elevated way into the next meal. Now, do you experience that? Do you experience high sugars that don't come down between meals and then it magnifies on the next meal? Just give me a yes, I do if you do, because this is something Melanie experienced all the time. And once we were able to show her some of the strategies, including the ones that we're talking about here, that was able to make a really big difference. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Okay, beautiful. Thank you. Awesome. Awesome. Now I'm going to go to Stan, who, oh my goodness, I met Stan in the 90s. Okay. So we're going back a long ways. I'm going to say 98, 99, perhaps. And he came to our practice. And honestly, he was someone who had a very high A1C. And I'm sorry that the slide's not showing up there, but he was able to get his A1C from over 13 down to 5.6 over the time that we worked together, which was great. And movement had so much to do with it. So why are we talking about movement today? Well, because movement is something you can do that's free, something you can do without any special equipment. It's not something you have to go to the gym for, but you can if you want to. But it plays such a pivotal role. The role that it plays in our circulation system by facilitating the blood flow throughout our body is huge. So, we are designed to move our bodies, and there are actual molecules that are, and I just read a research paper yesterday. As a matter of fact, I wrote it down. So don't mind me if I look down at my paper here, because I wanted to make a note about this research paper. So what I'm going to tell you about is that you have your own, and isn't this cool? You have your own internal pharmacy in your body that you don't know about. And I even learned something new yesterday. So your own internal pharmacy is actually what is being held in your muscles. And when you move your muscles, and our muscles are meant to be moved, when we move our muscles, that is how we're able to release these chemicals. And these chemicals are actually called, they're called, they secrete proteins. And what they're called is happy molecules. Why? Is because it's one of the leading ways through exercise and movement that people are able to avoid antidepressants and create their own happy hormones, number one. And number two, when you contract your muscles, what you're doing when you're moving your body is you're giving those chemicals the opportunity to then go through your bloodstream and help that pumping action. Let's talk about that a little bit more. So our circulatory system is also known as our cardiovascular system. Now, as you know, 70 to 80, and if you don't, then you'll learn this, that 70 to 80% of people with diabetes ultimately experience heart issues. So what we want to do is the heart, the whole circulatory system is responsible for transporting blood, nutrients, oxygen, and waste products throughout the body. It consists of the heart, it consists of the blood vessels, all the arteries, the main arteries to the heart, and the veins and capillaries throughout the body. The capillaries are our smallest vessels. So what you want to be able to do is we want to be able to have high octane oxygenated fuel going through our bloodstream. Now, when our blood sugars are spilling into the bloodstream, what do you think is happening? When our bloodstream has sugars that shouldn't be there, what happens is it contaminates that whole blood system. And then that blood system becomes compromised. The arteries, capillaries, and veins also become compromised. So what we'll talk about a little bit later is how much do they get compromised? And that all depends on each individual person. It could be 20%, it could be 30%, it could be 40%, it could be 50%. How many times have you heard of a friend or a family member or someone you know, or that you read on the news or heard at your doctor's office that somebody had, 2 or 3 stents put in because 80% of their arteries were blocked? If you've heard that, put that right here in the chat. The researcher's name mentioned is Carol Dweck. I think it's DWECK, just to help you out a little bit. So I want you to know that when the blood sugar spills into the bloodstream, it's like having a really bad tenant that you just can't evict. And that can cause a lot of havoc. And there's no reason for blood sugar to be occupying any part of your bloodstream with all the wonderful, wonderful best self-care practices that we have. So we want clean, oxygenated blood to go through our bloodstream. And like I said, your blood sugars correspond directly with the quality of balanced sugars being in your insulin receptor cells. And that's where movement comes in. Everyone following me so far? Your husband had a 90% block in 1 stent. Okay, so there you go. Yes, you've heard that. So, what we don't want is for that to be you, not for a second. And it never has to be you. There are so many preventive best self-care practices. In fact, we have had clients and patients where I've worked with other doctors. I remember David, and I worked with a couple of other doctors. Actually, one of the doctors joined us here day 1, and he went to having a 3 artery surgical date already made. We had worked with him for a couple of months. Within 3.5, 4 months, we got all the blood work back. He could cancel his surgery. It took a lot, but you know what? Got him on the fast track to being able to depollute, to get the contamination out of there. And that's exactly what these best self-care practices do for you. So what side of health do you want to be on? Do you want to have the contaminated bloodstream, or do you want to have the, efficient bloodstream? It's a choice, although we might not hear it as a choice, but it is. So what are the great reasons for wanting to move our body? Well, like I said, our circulation, we want to be able to transport really great fresh oxygen. And that comes with aerobic breathing, which is huge. That's an exercise within itself. And it also comes from movement. So the combination is stellar. And we have to get nutrients through our body and into the tissues, organs, and systems. So super, super important. And as we want to take the uptake of these, we also, sorry, I don't know why that does that sometimes, but we also want to be able to get the waste products out. So what does that mean? That means that when we're exercising and our chemicals are able to work for us, our cells, as they're getting the oxygen and things are circulating through, we can get those waste products out. And those go through the lungs and the kidney and the liver and through the organs where we excrete that waste. And so what you want to be able to do, and I get so many calls. I had so many people asking about my body's retaining fluid, how do I stop that? So one of the best self-care practices right here is the fiber. and the movement and something that is very special for tomorrow. So what we want to be able to do is we want to maintain balance, but we also want to be able to regulate the electrolytes in our body. That's very, very important. And our electrolytes get out of balance when our sugars are higher than normal over a period of time. Don't have to be high, but they might be consistently higher than normal. Okay? So that's very, very important. The other thing to be aware of is that our body really is the quality of our blood and how well we're uptaking things is really an indicator, a reflection of how well our immune system supports us. So our ability to fight off colds in cold seasons, our ability to heal from surgeries or injuries, our ability to have our energy throughout the day and not be depleted of energy. And I noticed in the chat that you were talking about, some of you feel tired and, just drained and are exhausted. No reason for that either, but we need to know what we need to do. So the other thing is you may have heard of this over the last several years, is that people with diabetes are at a much higher risk of being compromised when it comes to some of those viruses and bugs that are really unwelcome. And it's because your system isn't able to fight as well as somebody who doesn't have diabetes when your sugars have been erratic or when they've been higher than normal for any period of time, which is what diabetes is. But we want to get in that healthy target zone. So, what you want to do is be regularly testing your sugars so that you know where you are, so that you know which one of these self-care practices is going to help you the most get into your target zone. Another reason our circulation is so important is because what we want to be able to do is we want to be able to um, keep our body natural breathing, our temperature, our lungs, all the quality of these things regulated. So our body needs that in order to keep things just in a balance. And what does that mean? That means homeostasis. Homeostasis, another word for that is balance. So like I said, it plays a pivotal role because when something's not functioning properly and there's imbalance, your nutrients don't get absorbed, the waste products build up, and toxicity happens in the body. And toxicity leads to ketones, and ketones caused from high sugars lead to all kinds of complications, and that accelerates different things in our body that we don't want to happen. And it includes some of those unwelcome consequences that we've talked about. So when it comes to spending time sitting down or not getting all the movement that we need, and I know some of our clients actually are in wheelchairs. I know some clients, don't have the ability to move as freely as they want to. But the good news is you can move lying down, sitting in a chair, or standing up. But when we have the ability to interrupt how many hours we're sitting down, that's one of the most important things. Because you may have heard, not sure if you've heard, but if you've heard, then you will know that sitting at your desk for hours and hours without moving is like how we used to feel about smoking and secondhand smoke and what that used to do to our bodies. So the new smoking effects, or the new side effects of being sedentary, have the same effects as what we used to call, the smoking back in the day. So it's harmful to your body. And again, no reason for it. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we plan for, doesn't have to be a lot, needs to be something. We want to plan for moving our bodies. So let's take a closer look. Not moving our bodies as much as we need to contributes to various health problems. And remember what the new research paper I was telling you about yesterday. Remember that our muscles are made to move. Our muscles excrete those chemicals, and those chemicals actually help with brain health. They help with anxiety. They help with mood. They help with depression. They help with preventing type 3 diabetes. It helps in so many ways. So what we want to do is we want to open up, sometimes we're crunched over forward. So it's really important that we bring ourselves back and bring our shoulders back, and that we get movement in. And even if it's upper body movements, which I'm going to demonstrate some for you today, as well as lower body, only takes a couple of minutes. And I call it the 6-minute movement routine for diabetes wellness. So these are some of the things that contribute to poor health problems when we're sitting. Tight hips is a really big one. And then sore hips when you try to walk more than even a couple of thousand steps. So you really want to get into, getting that posture into place. As a matter of fact, I have a device that my team bought me as a gift, and it actually is a necklace, and it's actually right here. I'm going to show this to you. And what it does is it beeps, and it actually makes me, can you see this, everyone? It actually makes me move back when I'm lunging forward to keep my posture in good order. So that's very important. Now, why is this? What's the real reason that we want to move our bodies? Well, you're here because you want to lower your blood sugars and you want to balance your blood sugars. So let's look at this. When we're sedentary or when we're not moving, what we're doing is we're allowing insulin resistance to skyrocket. And when insulin resistance skyrockets, it doesn't matter so much how many things you try, those cells can be locked. They can lock out. Just like when you lock your doors at night, you're locking out intruders. With insulin resistance, what happens is the cell locks out the sugar and the sugar can't get in. So one of the major risk factors of developing type 2 diabetes is insulin resistance. And one of the best self-care practices that you can do is to move your body with your own body weight. Now, if you're someone who loves to go to the gym and do like circuit training, I mean, I'm a former marathoner of 12 years. I was a fitness trainer for many years, going to college and university, and worked on a farm throwing bales of hay for many years growing up. So I've always been physical. However, that seems like a lifetime ago, but I'm not throwing bales of hay anymore. And I'm not a fitness trainer anymore, but I schedule in my movements, and my team can tell you that I actually do this during some of our team meetings too. So it's really important when you want to be able to intercept that insulin resistance that's just locking and hijacking your body. Here's how we're going to do it. So stay tuned. The benefits of movement and why it's a must for you when you have diabetes. Like we talked about optimal circulation throughout the whole body. And I'm talking from the brain down to your toes. And it's one of those things when circulation's so important, and we know our capillaries, our smallest nerves, are affected. We want to deliver those nutrients and that circulation throughout the whole body. We do not want to compromise our ability to get our circulation through all of our extremities, because neuropathy is a real thing. Over 70-80% of people experience it. Again, don't have to, and we can reduce that as well. How do you feel about intermittent fasting in someone that has pre-diabetes? That's a little off topic here, but I'll give you a quick answer. Intermittent fasting is a science and a craft. So it's not just about reading it and then going and doing it, especially when you have pre-diabetes and diabetes. But to answer your question, when you have a guided, proven way of doing intermittent fasting and you're under supervision, I can tell you it's wonderful. I do it myself many days of the week. It's an advanced technique because there's very special things to be aware of. And so I hope that answers your question. Yeah. So Erica, so I'm just looking here. I can relate to tight hips. Yes, many people can. Okay. So moving right along. So what we want to be able to do is we want to enhance our insulin sensitivity, which is the opposite of insulin resistance. And why do we want to do that? Because consistent exercise doesn't have to be a lot, but it needs to be consistent. It's going to regulate your blood glucose levels and help you lower your sugars. Now, you want to be careful of how much intensity you're doing, because you can actually go temporarily high with numbers and then come low over a period of time. So when I was doing fitness training, and I had clients and was working with clients, and when I was working out, the cycle of insulin resistance can change very quickly. And your sugars can, like I said, go temporarily high because of a workout, but then they can go low several times over a 24-hour period. That's why I want us to use our body weight and do gentle exercises. And I think that is the safest and most effective, best self-care practicing for kickstarting a home exercise routine. And one of the biggest reasons we're doing this is obviously for heart health, because it helps strengthen the heart muscle. It improves the blood circulation. And not just that, it is great for lowering blood pressure and cholesterol levels and all that other stuff that usually does accompany diabetes. So I just stand for reducing your risk for all the above. End of story. Also, like we talked about with the endorphin activity and with the chemicals that are released from the muscles, the larger muscle groups in particular, it's going to enhance your mood and mental health and your overall well-being. So you want to boost your self-esteem. It's good for weight loss. It's good for quality of life. It's good for overall diabetes management. I mean, there's so many wonderful things you can do. I know that I've enjoyed Zumba classes too. So if you're a walker, if you're a runner, if you're a swimmer, if you're someone who loves dance, all of these things are wonderful to add to this. And like I said, this can be fun. And it's easier than you think. So I want you to know nothing's impossible. In fact, the word itself says I'm possible. And you can see that in there, right? You break it up and you can see that I'm possible. So I want you to enjoy activities. I want you to have some fun. And so in addition to whatever you're doing, whether it's gardening, whether it's playing a team sport, whether it's shuffleboarding down with other friends, whether it's doing pickleball, whether it's, bike riding, whatever it is, I want you to enjoy it and add these things to your daily life. And also think about this, and I do this, and I go up 11 flights of stairs every day, but I'm not taking the elevator. I am actually taking the stairs. I'm walking across the entire floor, and then I'm taking the next stairs up, walking across the entire floor and taking the next stairs up. So that I'm sure to get in an extra, 2,800 steps in my day. And there's no reason why I can't. And besides, I don't want to get stuck in an elevator. So today, our holistic best self-care practice, number 3, is incorporating movement as natural medicine into your day. And I call this, honestly, the 6-minute diabetes wellness awaken routine. So what does it look like? Well, you're in for a treat because I did pre-record a couple of really great exercises that really did take me back to my aerobics training days and some of the first classes that I taught at, in those days, Gold's Gym. Does anybody remember that? And at the time, what is his name? It was an Italian name. I forget now, Frank something, and Lady Fitness. So anyways, your challenge here in day 3 is to schedule in and set yourself up for success. So what does that mean? Well, what that means is setting aside 6 minutes, just 6 minutes. And I prefer that you do this once in the morning and once midday because I want you to move. So, I set my alarm on my clock. I finish up what I'm doing and I take a 6-7 minute break. I get in my movements, have some fun with them, put on some music from my phone, stream it in, and I have a nice little workout. So I want you to be able to set yourself a reminder, because when you plan something and you put your goals on paper and you have an alarm to remind you, you actually do them. And I want you to commit to, honestly, if you're playing all in, you're going to make sure that you're going to make your receptor cells more cooperative in your body. You're going to unlock the lock and open up the receptor cells for business. And just notice that when you are doing these exercises, and playing full out would mean, and we're suggesting a minimum of 2 times a day. If you're going to play full out, you can do this 3 to 4 times a day because that's still only 20-25 minutes. Now, how much is this going to affect your blood sugars? Well, that's all going to depend on what your current circumstances are. But what I can tell you is you will notice a difference. It all depends what you put into it. So I want you to choose a comfortable place. And this is all about you. You can actually have quiet space. You could put on music. You could be doing this with a friend or a family member in person. You could be having a friend join you on Zoom and you could do it together. Yeah, I just want you to have fun with it because that's what it's meant. And like I said, you could do it lying down, seated, or standing. So you've got this. So I want you to do this each morning. I want you to set a reminder, and I want you to be grateful that your body's going to help you and that you're setting yourself up to make those receptor cells increase their capacity for you to lower your insulin resistance and to help you lower your blood sugars. So what does this look like? Trust me, I don't know about you, but I know that when I'm moving and I'm giving my body what it needs, I sleep so much better. If you know that you sleep much better when you've been moving your body, let me know. I also had a bigger appetite when I did that too, but I want you to put in here. Okay, you have a Google Watch that reminds me and you get up once every hour. That's beautiful. Oh, great, Kim. Heck yes. Who's all in with this? Give me a heck yes if you're all in with this. I need to see some heck yeses. Come on, I need to see more than that. I saw all these heck yeses on day 1, day 2. Come on, this is day 3. Let's get this together. All right. So where we're at is what we've learned today and how we're going to make this a really great part of the day. Well, right now we are going to share. Are y'all ready? And there's a PDF here. Raisa, dear, did you put the PDF in here? Our wonderful diabetes wellness concierge. Do we have a PDF in here for our day today?
We do. I'll post it soon.
You post that for us. And what we've done is we've made life easy to make sure that you are successful 100%. So what I mean by that is we are giving you a checklist of the exercises. We're giving you a checklist for every day of the week. We're even giving you an opportunity to write in, how did this benefit you? What did you feel? What did you experience as a result of doing this? And then you can share that. Remember, there's tons of prizes. So what I want to do now is, number 1, give me a yes. Where do you find these? Can it be emailed? Yes, they will be emailed, but the link is right here in the chat, everyone. So all you need to do is copy that link and put it in your browser and you'll get it. Right, Reza? Can you give them a directive on that?
That's exactly right.
Okay, so it's very easy. So the link is going to take you directly to the PDF. You can print it, you can save it, you could do both. Is everyone familiar with that? And yes, to answer your question, it will also be emailed, correct, Reza?
It'll be on the replay page, actually, but they'll get an email with the link to the replay page.
Okay, beautiful. And can you take a moment just before we dive in here to this really great challenge today about the replays? Because there's been a few questions.
Yeah, like I just said, there will be a replay page. All of the recordings, including this one here for day 3, will be there. And underneath each one of the videos will be any PDFs that we've offered for each day.
So that's going to be on our website at holisticdiabetessolutions.com, correct?
There'll be a link directly to it from the email. It'll be on our website. Oh, yes.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, so I don't see the link. Okay. Is the link in the chat? Yes, it is. So don't worry, it will be emailed and it's also in here. I can actually see it. Okay. So there you go. So is everyone ready for this amazing challenge? I'm not going to show it to you unless I see all the yeses. I have 52 participants. I want to see 52 yeses. If you're all in, I want to see the yeses. Okay. iPhone, Donna, Ronnie, Shirley, Erica, Vicky, Diane, I can't keep up. Linda, yes, yes, yes. Kim, okay. Well, I don't have 51 yet. So if you didn't put it in here, I'm not putting it up. Jeanette, okay, beautiful. Keep coming, guys. Irene, Effie, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, keep them coming. Melissa Rose, beautiful. Okay, so are you all seated? Number 1, are you all seated comfortably in a chair right now? So I want you to be seated comfortably. I want you to have some space in front of you. And I want you to be able to move your upper body and your feet beside you on the chair without hitting anything. It's all you need to be ready. So if you're ready, we're ready. So Reza, can we do the drum roll? And can we play the video?
Yes, I'll just share the screen. 1 minute.
All righty, I'll let you do your thing. Hello and welcome to our day 3 challenge of our Diabetes Wellness Awakening Challenge. And today is all about movement. So to recap, on day 1, it was all about mindset with an amazing challenge and exercise. activity for you. Day 2 is all about the one carbohydrate that actually lowers and helps you balance your blood sugars naturally, helps you to prevent the spikes, and to even help you with your fasting blood sugars in the morning. Who knew there was a carbohydrate that actually helped you lower and balance blood sugars? So that was an amazing challenge. Today is all about movement as medicine, and it's free. If you are a person that loves to go to the gym and you love to do circuit training and you love to do high intensity, all the power to you. Continue doing what you're doing. And for everyone, including the people who love high intensity, low intensity, using your own body weight to do some exercises and doing seated exercises are very convenient and usually much more welcoming for people. Now, I want you to know that I'm going to walk you through a 6 to 8 minute Diabetes Wellness Awaken routine for you so that you can add this to your power morning. I also include that you set timers, because what you don't schedule, you don't do. So you can put reminders on your phone or in your computer. And I would really love for you to be able to, during the day, to incorporate this 2 times. And the reason why is because often many people are sedentary. And when we're sedentary, we need to move our body. We need to get our blood pumping. And the free, wonderful way to help really decrease your insulin resistance, which is the cause of type 2 diabetes and which is the cause of having to use more insulin than necessary when you have type 1 or 1.5 diabetes, using something as natural and as amazing as your own body weight to get things moving and to open up your cells so that your body receives the insulin in the receptor cells rather than opposing it and locking it out. That's what this is all about. So this helps you to naturally lower and balance your blood sugar levels naturally. So what I want to talk about today is 3 upper body exercises and 3 lower body exercises. And so the challenge is for you to incorporate these 6 exercises into your day at least twice a day. I'd love to see videos or even pictures, and I want to hear what your biggest takeaways were. These may look like very gentle movements, but make no mistake, these are very powerful movements. And it's all in the how we do this. So now we know what the challenge is. It's a 6 to 8 minute diabetes wellness movement routine for movement is medicine. And now we're going to go through what those exercises are and how to do them. So what you want to do is you can do them standing, no problem. You could even do some of these lying down. It might be more difficult. The preferred way is sitting in a chair and not sitting with your back right to the back of the chair, but moving a minimum of 1/3, in between 1/3 and 1/2 forward in the chair. So what you want to do is you want to have your legs 14 inches apart. Depending on the legs of your chair, that will be slightly on the inside of the chair. You want to be able to have good posture. So you want to be able to be supporting your core by having your shoulders up and back. And I want you to remember breathing is so important. Not a particular way you need to breathe. I want you to be consciously aware of the breaths that you're taking, because breathing helps so much. So let's get started with the 3 upper body exercises. To get started, what I would like you to do is I'd like you to have your hands down to your side, and I'd like you to bring them up in front of you, hands palms out, and I want you to be able to come all the way up, reaching for the sky, reaching, and bringing them right back down out front, all the way back down to the sides. So it's a very big reach in there. So what you want to do, hands, palms out, reach all the way, stretch. This stretch is important. Hold for 2 and come all the way back down. So you're using your own body to stretch this out. We're going to do this 10 times. This is 3, hold, and release. 4, you want to hold, feel that stretch, and release. This is taking me back to my fitness aerobics instructor days. And for those of you who don't know, yes, I have been a certified fitness instructor going through college and university, and also a marathoner for 12 years. Back in the day, and just came from the country and was doing a lot of country running, 15 to 18 Ks a day for many years. And so fitness has always been a big part of my life. So what I want you to do again is these stretches, stretch, hold, and come back down. And you're going to feel this on your sides. You're going to feel this in your arms. You're going to feel this in your back. And we're going to do 2 sets of these. So again, hands to the side, up, stretch, hold, and bring it right back down. Not difficult. It's a matter of being consistent and getting the how-to right so that you're actually reaching for the stars and you're putting your effort and energy into it for yourself. So we have our first movement, and then you want to shake that out. Okay, so the first movement, hands down to the side, palms out, all the way up, stretch, hold, and all the way back down. So that's our first exercise. Now, what we're going to do is for the second exercise is we're going to bring our hands out in front. We're going to clasp them. We're going to bring them all the way to the top, bring them to the sides, and back in. So we're going to bring them out front, clasp, all the way to the top, hold, out to the sides, back in. So again, we're bringing our hands out, clasping, reaching all the way to the top, out to the sides, and back in. And we're going to do this 10 times. Nice big circles to the side. Stretch out as far as you can. What you put into it, you get out of it. So try to reach right out to the sides as far as you can. Awesome. I lost count, but if anyone's counting, I think there's a few more to go. All the way up to the sides. And remember, 2 sets of 10 for these. And stretch out to the side. And you want to shake that out. That's a workout. It really, really is. Now, the other thing that you want to be able to do, which is going to lead into part of our challenge for tomorrow, is you want to be able to put your legs to the side a bit more. And what you want to be able to do is you want to be able to stretch all the way over to one side. You want to hold, put your arm across the abdomen, and do the other side. And that's a stretch way to the side. I want you to feel the stretch. And then I want you to bring your hand all the way over to your abdomen and change over the other side. Now, if you're finding that this is very easy for you, mind you, the more you stretch, the more you feel it. There is an advanced technique to this, which I can show you, but I want to be able to do this a good 5 times first. The stretches are wonderful. And you want to make sure that your hand is not too far in front. You want to make sure that it's right over your head. That makes a big difference in what you're going to feel. So this is the beginners. And then if you want to be able to use an advanced movement, I'm going to show you what that is right next. So if you want to use an advanced movement, you can put your arm out to the side and put both out to the side. And you can do it both sides. So there are different levels of being able to do these. But I like to start with the basic ones. So again, going back to basic. And again, you wrap these up with just a few more reps. And then your upper body is going to be done. So you're going to have 2 sets of 10 for each of these upper body exercises. Now, what you can do is you can shake everything out. Awesome. Okay, what's really exciting now is we get to go to the lower body. So with the lower body, a couple of very great exercises that are going to help with moving your quads and moving the biggest group of muscles in your body, because when you can pump blood through the bigger muscles, that's what the aim is. So we're sitting here, I'm going to say halfway towards the front of the chair. And what we're going to do is put one leg out. Doesn't matter which leg you start with. So you're going to have one leg out in front. You're going to put the other ankle on top of this ankle. And what you're going to do is you are going to extend your leg out in front. You're going to relax this leg. Okay, so you're going to bend the knee on top of this one. And you're simply going to come up, feel that pull in the quads, and back down. And bring this out again and feel that pull in the quads and right back down. We're working the bigger muscle groups. And when you can work the bigger muscle groups like you do with advanced squats, you're able to pump the blood through your body even more. So that's why I've chosen this. So again, you're going to relax that top foot, rest that on the ankle of the other foot, and you can have your arms to the side. You can have them on your lap. You can have them out to the sides if you like. Up to you. And you're going to do this for a set of 10. Again, I lost count, but I think there's maybe 4 more in here, maybe 5. So I want you to be able to count for yourself when you're doing these. That's awesome. Okay, so when we get to 10, we're going to shake that out. Take a moment. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do the other leg. And so we are going to put our one foot on top of the other. We're going to bend at the knee and we're going to bring it forward. So we're going to do this 10 times. You want to hold that for 2 seconds, by the way. Really feel the stretch. That's wonderful. Oh, your body's saying, thank you. Thank you. My muscles are meant to move. And also while you're doing these movements, you're actually hydrating the connective tissue, the muscle, and the bone. And when it gets dehydrated, that's when we get aches and joint issues with arthritis. So we want to keep the inside of our mesh, the inside of our tissues, hydrated. If you've ever seen a sponge and how dry it is, that's how dry the inside of our connective tissue can be when it wants to connect with the muscles and the bones. And so doing these exercises lubricate those areas and help to keep them in really great shape. So in addition to the insulin resistance working for us and being able to decrease that and increase our efficiency, we're able to do other things for our body as well. Once we've done our 10 on the other leg, we can shake that out as well. And you'll feel the burn in here. These may look simple, but they're powerful. Okay, beautiful. And then we're going to do a fun one. And we're going to move a little forward in the seat. And what we're going to do here is something really fun. You can even put on some music to this if you want. So remember when we used to do jumping jacks? They were so much fun. So I remember hopscotch and skipping and so many things. But with the jumping jacks, it's about moving our feet out to the sides and moving them in. Moving them out, moving them in. You can move them as far out to the sides as you want, or you can just move them out to the sides a little bit. The fact is that we're moving our bodies. So what you want to do is you want to support and keep your back straight, your shoulders back. You want to remember to breathe, but you want to be able to go in and out with these jumping jacks. So let's do 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And take a rest. And then we're going to do another set, but you can change it up if you want. You could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And go back to doing 10. And if you have some upbeat music, you can go a little faster. Now, why don't we put this all together and wrap it up and have a really fun upper body combo? As we're doing these jumping jacks, we can actually put our upper arms into this as well as our lower body. So let's do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And another 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So give yourself a round of applause. Congratulate yourself, because this can be fun. It doesn't have to be tedious. You don't have to go to the gym. You can if you want. And there you go. So you got your 3 upper body, your 3 lower body, and wrapping it around with some fun jumping jacks at the end. I want to hear your biggest takeaways. I want to hear where you felt the stretches. I want to hear what the favorite exercise was. And I want to know when you've decided to implement these in your day. Morning, midday, did you set your alarms? So I'm all looking forward to seeing in the chat and into the comments in our Facebook group how you did. Okay, so we'll see you on the inside, and we'll see you in tomorrow's challenge. Bye. So how was that for you? I want to hear. I was commenting in all the comments to all the people I saw join in and be a part of things. So how was that for those who joined in? I want to hear from you. So awesome. That was oh beautiful. Yes, and they're simple and they're fun. Okay, so doable. Yes, very doable. And here's the thing. It's actually a matter of doing them. It doesn't have to be complicated. I swear it does not have to be complicated. I felt the stretch, not hard at all. Exactly. Loved it. And we'll do these at breaks when I'm quilting. Oh, good for you. That's nice. Great start. Yeah. So the other thing I want to say about this as well is that, and I'm just going to stop sharing for just a moment. Now, I want you to let me know in the comments, can you see me when I stop sharing? What do you see when I stop sharing? Do you see me on a full screen or do you not see me on a full screen? And just let me know.
I see you on a full screen, Dr. Cheryl.
Okay, great. Okay, so great, because I want to talk to you direct. So yeah, things don't have to be people, I think sometimes in their mind, and I used to have it in my mind too, but I think people at times think things are like they can be overwhelming because I think that they could be difficult and that you have to do things a certain way. And we have this idea of perfection in a way, and if it's not perfection, but maybe looking at as a certain way. And I think when at least for me as I get younger, I have a lot more freedom with how I do things. So what I really want to share with you in this right now in this time is that things don't have to be difficult. We don't have to attack diabetes like it's the enemy. In fact, it's a life lesson teacher if you allow it to be. And when you do allow it to be and give yourself some freedom with it, you are going to be so empowered. That's why our first day was all about our mindset and visualization. It is powerful, powerful stuff. And so today, in just the chat here, I just want to thank you for sharing in the chat. And I'm trying to bring this up. It's on the side here. Great. Um, uh, with loved it, and yeah, going to continue to do it. Almost everyone can do them. Absolutely. And you can do all these exercises also at your own rate and pace. And I gave you a couple of examples of how you could, like there's ones that are, I wouldn't say that they're simple. I'd say that they're basic. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong or more or less. It means it's basic. But if you wanted to add more umph to it, then you put out both hands and you can really feel those stretches. It's about doing what's comfortable for you. And again, this challenge is a kickstart. There's so much more. So I want to hear from you here in the chat some, out of these 3 days, is this what you had hoped it would be? Are you getting what you want out of it? Are you getting tangible things that you can implement in your day? And I want to hear, what is your biggest takeaway so far? Is it day one? Is it day two? Is it today? I want to hear what some of your biggest takeaways are, because I can direct today and tomorrow more towards what you respond. So I can customize this however we want. So yeah, so I want to say I love this one today. Beautiful. Whoever iPhone is. I don't know who iPhone is, but that's okay. iPhone to everyone. Marilyn, Marilyn. Okay, great, Marilyn. Thanks. Managing diabetes is less scary. Absolutely. Oh, you liked all days. Thank you. Today's empowering from Shirley. Great. I've gotten a lot of tangibles. Great, Kim. Give me one or two. That's great. I love this one today. Beautiful. Today, it's a reminder that you don't have to go from 0 to 100. No, in fact, I never want anybody to go from 0 to 100 ever. That's not healthy for blood sugars, because you're going to get a lot of erratic sugars and you're going to get lows that will make you nervous and that could interrupt progress. So lots of great ideas to try and love today. I need yesterday's replay. No problem, iPhone, if that's Marilyn. Nancy Bellows. So Nancy, yeah, I wanted to make sure you could hear and see. Beautiful. I'm glad that that's all exciting for you today. Beautiful. So your biggest takeaways from what I'm seeing is that you can be gentle with yourself. I think what you're realizing is, you know, overdoing things, doing too much of something is not being kind to your body. Being kind to your body is being able to give it the fuel, whether it's muscle fuel, whether it's mind fuel, whether it's food fuel. It's fueling you so that you're able to adapt and receive. so that you're able to balance. It's not about being out of balance. It's about balance, and it's a little bit at a time. So, I've been looking for something to handle pre-diabetes. I've learned something every day. Thanks so much. Oh, beautiful, Brenda. I'm so glad. I don't have diabetes, but I want to help others. These are simple tips to pass on to others as well. Yeah, absolutely. Utilize them. And this is just an appetizer. These are just a couple of best self-care practices. I mean, we actually have hundreds of them, but I would say that there's a top 60, 50, 60 best self-care practices, and you extract the ones that resonate for you. And I think Kim is on here. Kim, I'd love for you to join us. If just for a moment, because I know, Kim, that you have some wonderful things to share. So everyone, could you just welcome Kim and Reza, if you can allow Kim to come on and just share, Kim, like a brief minute or two about what being able to have more things just like these challenges, being able to have access to them and being able to have guidance with them, what that's been able to do for you. So if you can join us, Reza, I'll let you unmute Kim. And Kim, if you can show yourself, that would be great.
Yep.
He is there,
Hi,
ready to go.
everybody.
Kim.
Hi, Kim.
So I can tell you, I know that some of you have talked about not being able to have fruit. And that was one of my challenges. I didn't have fruit for well over a year before I met Dr. Cheryl and her team. And I now have fruit every day in my life. I love fruit. It's help. It's great. I just had to learn how to make it portion it correctly and what to make combinations with it. And I learned a lot of that through classes like this one, and then I went down to the diabetes friendly kitchen kickstart program, and we learned we learned a ton of stuff that helped how we can mix and match and make things more diabetes friendly. And I don't know about the rest of you, but I do like my sweets, and I have learned and been able to master how to do sweets by redoing my recipes so that they're diabetes friendly. And that's been very helpful with my one-on-one coaching that I went to and took some of. And today's all about movement. I led a very sedentary lifestyle because of some health challenges prior to meeting Dr. Cheryl and her team. And over the last year, I have been working on walking and so forth, and running and doing some more exercises. And I have managed to go from never ever running a race to have been participant in 14 races last year, and even winning the Masters division and coming in first place in several of the races that I ran. And the races mean a lot to me because I support people's issues and so forth. And I also want to make sure that I can be a spokesman that even though you have diabetes, you can learn to manage your blood sugars by racing. Now, I didn't just get up one day and start running out the door. No, I was scared to death the first time I was trying to do a race, and it took me a while to get some confidence. And now that I've gained the confidence through practice and trialing and working with my coaches that are on Dr. Cheryl's team, I've been able to go and do these races and have confidence. I also learned my boundaries and where I can get better chances at fixing my blood sugar before I have a crash when I'm out racing. And it takes time, and being able to have some help from the people at the diabetes friendlies at the holistic diabetes. It's great. They're always there for you. I can talk to them and ask them questions, and it's been very helpful. So as you're embarking on your diabetes journey, I know I've posted a lot of stuff on the Facebook page, and I'm trying to answer all the questions people are asking me timely, so that you can have some information as well. It's a journey. You're not going to always have perfect blood sugar days because it all depends on many factors like stress in your life, your job, or the kids are doing something bad today.
Or your neighbors.
Yes, or neighbors. Yes, I was trying to avoid that one.
Well, Kim, as you're wrapping up, maybe you can share with people what percentage of time that you were in your target zone prior to joining our membership, and prior to joining some of our programs, and how it turned around and what it is for you as a result of these things. So
Yep.
maybe just a really quick little update for everybody.
Yes. When I first started with Holistic Diabetes Solutions, my A1C was over 14. Now my A1C is at 5.5, and it's been over a matter of several months that I managed to get it down that far. My blood sugars have gone from being out of target range over 90% of the time to being in target range the same amount of time. 90% or more of time I'm in the target range.
That's kudos. Thank you so much, Kim. And I know, because I went through this and I live with diabetes every day, but I know that when we started working together and you joined us, it was like you were eating restricted amounts of food because, that's what you know, right?
Yep,
Including no fruit. But now, and you said, how is it possible that I can eat so much more food and have so much better control? And it was a real mind bender.
yes.
But it was also other best self-care practices because it's not all about food, right?
That's correct. Yes, it's definitely not all about food. And I've learned that, because when I was first diagnosed, it's like, okay, I'm on this island by myself, and now I have the support from the Holistic Diabetes Solutions to help me when I'm having challenges and wanting to understand things. And if I'm having a stressful day, yes, that impacts my blood sugar levels.
For sure.
If I'm really tired because I went out and did a 3-mile walk at this point in time and didn't have enough food before I left, yeah, that's going to affect my blood sugars as well. And I've learned these things, and it's been really helpful to learn them and to have the support along the way and being supported by the Holistic Diabetes team.
Thank you so much, Kim, for sharing. So I'm going to go back and share my screen because I want to say thank you for and recognize, I wrote in the chat here that, acknowledging all the people that I saw, joining in the exercises, and those of you who I can't see if you joined, I didn't know if you were part of it. So thank you for joining in because you're playing all out. And you're going to have this replay so you can follow along. We also have the PDF for you, and all the exercises are on there. So I'm going to pop back in to our PowerPoint, and then we're going to wrap up for the day. So hold on, and I'm just going to share that screen. And we are going to wrap up. So what you learned today, I want you to make notes. So if you download the PDF, I want you to write into it, and I want you to schedule when you are going to do these 6-minute easy routines that will impact your blood sugars, I promise. And you got to really do the stretches and really put a lot into it. So what you put into it, you get out. And the what I want to say is remember our contest. So each day I want you to post in the group how these particular challenges are benefiting you. You can post today about a particular challenge. You can also post about other ones if you want. You're not limited to just post about the one for the day. If you want to include a photo like some of you are doing, which is awesome, thanks guys, or a video or whatever, just to add to it, that's great. Or even if you describe how this benefited you, just like you're doing in the comments, which are amazing. So keep the comments and the chats coming. And yeah, so go into our Facebook group, go in there, because remember, we have the value of $1,000 prizes out here and even the value of $500 prizes. And let's just review actually what they are. So just so that you know, a 1-year membership to our Diabetes Success System Inner Circle. And like I said, today and this challenge is really a bite size. It's a appetizer. It's a little, a little bit of what we actually do in the inner circle, giving you those tools and giving you the what to do and the how to do them. So then you can extract what, resonates with you. And not just that, keep in mind that we do have these prizes, but in this wonderful membership, we have access to trainings with mindset evolution coaching. So if you liked day one, or if you want to know so much more about these kinds of things that are going to empower you, not just for your diabetes and blood sugars, but for your life, for your quality of life, how you can challenge yourself and how you can look at rewiring how you think about things. That's going to be amazing. Our diabetes friendly foods and meals. Actually, thank you, Kim, for talking about that, because we actually have a program specific for setting you up for success. We go through your entire kitchen. We go through your pantry, your fridge, your cupboards. We go through your freezer, and we actually set you up for success and give you the diabetes friendly ingredients, give you the diabetes friendly training. And that's a really wonderful, wonderful insight. movement is guidance. You got a little bite of that today, and I see so many of you liked it. So that's awesome, getting us moving. And then every month there's a live coaching session with myself and or a team member. So that's great, or a special guest from time to time. We have many special guests in our masterminds and VIP programs as well, but in our membership community, you've got each other. It's like Kim said, it's really wonderful because you've always got someone to talk to and to get feedback from. And of course, we have a full monthly calendar to keep you organized, to give you highlights about upcoming things so that you don't miss any of the goodies that we're doing here. So it's wonderful. So I wanted you to be aware of that. And you know what? It's a little past the hour. So I want you to do this wonderful challenge. I want you to post. I want you to look at your blood sugars before and after and know that your blood sugars can be affected for up to 24 hours after you're doing any of these movements. And the movements with your own body resistance are they're the most effective for opening up those receptor cells, which is the goal for today. So we're going to see you tomorrow in an invigorating morning routine to boost your energy, and you're going to love it. If you love today, you're going to love tomorrow. So thanks, everyone. I'm going to read some comments here, and we'll see you on the inside tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.